Hey guys, so I don't normally do this, especially while I'm driving. Well, I guess I normally make videos, but I haven't in a while. But I usually don't do so while I'm driving, as you can probably see back there. But I felt the need to do this because it's a really vital issue that I have to talk about. And it may scare some of you, but don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. There are reports that I'm hearing about, and I don't really interact with a whole lot of people. Not saying I don't interact with people, but on a I guess a religious level, I don't interact with a whole lot of people. Just there's less than a handful of people that I talk to about spiritual things. And I had one tell me the other day that someone that he knew had got a real shock whenever he had went to deliver a package for a house. And usually whenever he is delivering a package, the homeowner will be outside to greet him and so on and so forth. Well, he went to this house to deliver a package, same house, and the guy wasn't there. So he walked up and knocked on the door, and he heard, come in. So he went in, and the guy was working, at his bench, his little workbench, and which is odd for this guy because this guy's usually, pretty personable, talk to you and everything. Well, he wasn't doing that now. Well, he, had the guy sign for the package and just kind of handed it to him over his shoulder. And the guy signed it, just handed it back to him, never turned around. And so my buddy's friend was like, okay, well, I see you're busy. I'll talk to you later. And the guy turned around, and the guy was scared. Like, the delivery guy was scared. Like, so much so that he was like, because he was about to scream. Well, so a buddy of mine had asked him, hey, was everything okay? Was he hurt or something? He was like, no, he was fine. He was like, well, then why did you do that? He said, because whenever he turned around, his eyes were as black as the darkest black that you could get. Like, nothing, there was no reflection in his eyes, there was no white in his eyes, there was no pupil. It was completely black. And my comment to my buddy was, man, that's not good. That is not good at all. And he was like, why is that? And I was like, well, because that means that guy was completely possessed. And he's like, yep, that's kind of what I thought it was. And this is one of those instances where it's evident that the veil between the world that we live in and the spiritual world, that veil between us is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Right now, all those evil forces, they're getting ready for their leader to make his debut. And if you follow the Bible at all, you know that who I'm referring to is the son of perdition. The one that is inhabited by the devil, Satan. And you know what? I'll tell you this. To me, it confirms what I've been knowing. You know, instances that I've went through, and just seeing the world the way it's going, and things that the Lord's showed me, and what people have told me. Right now, as we speak, there are a lot of these people that have this going on. They are just possessed, and you know, they've at some point their parents have opened the door to have these demonic forces enter into their lives, and that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing at all. And you know, I really encourage every single one of you to find out who Yeshua is. Yeshua is the same person that people call Jesus. It reads Jesus in every single Bible that I've ever read. You know, NIV, King James, New King James, the American Standard, even the Revised King James. They all say Jesus. And I would like to say that the Jesus they preach in church is the one that you need to follow, but that's not right. Not at all. They've really hidden what you should be. And you know, I'll tell you this. There are a lot of people that claim to follow the Lord, but they're clueless. They really are. Not saying that I got it all together, but you know, I've lived a very, very interesting life. I've done things, I've seen things, I've went through things, and each one has made me who I am today. None of the, you know, the things that I've had to go through am I proud of. I can't say, oh yeah, well, you know, I went through this and blah, 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 blah. No. Why? Because those things were a learning time, and during that time, you know, I'm hard-headed. And I'm sure I've said that in a couple of my videos that I've done in the past. So I have to learn things the hard way. But you know what? Once you learn them the hard way, you don't forget them. You really don't. It may take a second or two for you to remember, but you don't forget them. You just may not put it in practice all the time. But I'll tell you that I had went to a concert. It was at a little venue, and we were waiting on the band that we went to go see to get there. Well, they weren't going to show up for like an hour and a half. And I wasn't really, you know, feeling that I really wanted to stay there for an hour and a half waiting on them. So I turned to my wife. I was like, hey, you know, this is going to take a while. Do you just want to leave? And she was like, yeah, you know, let's give it a little bit. Maybe the opening bands will be okay. And I was like, all right. So about 20 minutes later, man, I had this real uneasy feeling. Like, maybe I should leave. And then I started hearing a voice, like, in my ear, like, talking to me, telling me, you don't need to be here. You need to leave. You should really leave. You don't belong here. And I was like, what? You know what? No, I'm not doing this. And I prayed to the Lord for strength, because I didn't know what was going on. But you know what? I didn't like it. And, I prayed for strength. And about, I don't know, say 10, 15 minutes later, I had like the utmost peace. I could have laid down and taken a nap. I was that just at ease. Why? Because I had asked the Lord for the peace and the strength that I needed, because it didn't feel right. Well, I was talking to my buddy again and told him about it, and he had said to him, it sounded like there was a witch that was there, or like a member of one of the bands that was playing, or something like that, had a really strong attachment to a demon. And that made a lot of sense to me. Made an awful lot of sense, because it wasn't a like a general suggestion. Like this presence that I felt before I prayed, it was huge. It was an absolute enormous presence. Like, so much so that it felt like someone was like trying to step on me. And it was a heavy presence. Well, I'll tell you, after I felt that, that's when I prayed. And after I prayed, as I said, man, I could have laid down and taken a nap. I was that at peace, and it just, nothing bothered me. We ended up leaving like 15 minutes later, because by that time we had been there for an hour and a half and there were still no bands. So we were like, yep, let's just go ahead and leave. This sucks. Well, we left, then we went to dinner and just had a grand old time. But, making that statement to you, that the veil that is between our world and the world that we can't see, that veil is getting super, super thin. And I will let you know that there's a lot of entities out there that don't want anyone around them with the Holy Spirit. And especially if you know your authority, yeah, they want you as far away from them as possible. And it's not because of who you are or who I am or who anyone is. It's all about the authority that you carry inside you. And here, let me try to... Oh, that didn't help any. But, sorry, I was trying to get the sun out of my face so that way you could see me better. But I will let you know that if you have the Holy Spirit, you will have people that will avoid you like the plague. Like, you don't even have to say anything to them or anything like that. All you have to do is be there. And if they're like being possessed at that time, they will run away from you. I've got to say, I've had a couple encounters where they didn't want to be around me. And one instance, I was in bed, and I believe it was just like a vision, but I had woke up and sat on the edge of the bed and had my head in my hands and my elbows were on my knees. And I was like, man, why am I awake? And then I look up and I see this little girl standing right outside my door. And couldn't see the face. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Ring. I'm not a fan of that movie or the concept behind it. But I'll tell you that the little girl that's, you know, in the ring, the one that crawls out of the well and that's killing everyone, that was whatever was standing outside my bedroom door, that's what it looked like. Well, that made me so blasted mad that, you know, I couldn't speak, you know, to rebuke it. But what I did do is I growled at this thing so much and so deep, like I was about to rip its head off. And I got up off my bed and started chasing this thing down my hall. And whenever I got to the end of the hall, you know, there's the bathroom. Well, that was the only place that it could have went. And you know what? I got in there, I opened up the door, turned the light on, there was nothing there. And then next thing you know, my wife's like shaking me. And I wake up, I'm like, what in the world? I was like, what? She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, you were growling like scary. Like, so, she told me so much so that she got worried. And I told her, I was like, don't worry about it. It's taken care of. And another time, we were sleeping on the couch in the living room, and when I went to sleep during that time, my couch was on the same wall that my front door is on. Well, in this dream or vision or whatever it was on the opposite wall to where I could see out of the door. Well, during this time, I'd woke up and noticed that the couch was moved, you know, to where I could see out the door. I was like, well, okay, well, that's weird. Well, I look at the door and I see this extremely dark figure. It looked humanoid, you know, it looked like the shape of a human. But it was standing there. And then it said, let me in. I was like, no, I don't think so. You're not coming in. Well, let's see if that's any better, guys. It just kept standing there. And it said, let me in, this is my house. And I told it, no, this ain't your house, this is my house. You don't have any authority here. And then after that, I woke up. Yeah, still, and, you know, pretty having good peace. You know, I wasn't stressed out or nothing like that. But I think that presence that I felt when I went to that concert, I think it was, you know, pretty much seeing like, okay, well, we sent the little lackeys first, then we sent, you know, someone a little bit higher up than them, and then, you know, that time at the concert, they, you know, they were sending someone big, someone that, you know, had more power. And I was, you know, it's like, nope, not doing it. Well, they know now that I'm not going to bow down to anything that they have or try to do. So, you know, I just want you guys to understand that, yes, we are in a time when evil, all these demonic forces, they will try to intimidate you, frighten you, and try to just like push you out. Don't let them. Because when you receive the Holy Spirit, and I'm not saying that everyone that professes Christ has the Holy Spirit. No, that's nonsense. Those who have repented, been baptized in Yeshua's name, those are the ones that receive the Holy Spirit. Why? Because the Lord knows that if He sends you to do something, you're going to do it. He knows that you're going to be obedient. And He wants to make sure that you stay His. So, I want to let you know that you have an unlimited amount of authority to deal with these things that are going to be making themselves known to you very, very quickly. You know, as I said, I don't deal with a lot of people, so whenever I hear something, that means that it's a lot more prevalent than I even acknowledge. So, just want you guys to have a heads up, because I've said that if I learn anything, then, you know, I will for sure give you guys a heads up, so that way you're not caught unaware. So, I'm out. I hope each of you have an actual relationship and know who Yeshua is, what He's done for you. And I pray that you will keep going until you find everything that He has for you. Because you know what? There's nothing in the world, in all of creation, that compares just to the littlest things that He has for you. So, please understand that what I say isn't out of any intent other than I want you guys to know what's going on. So, I hope that you heed this warning and that you do understand that there are demonic entities out there that want nothing but to drag you away from Yeshua. But I will get off here, and I hope this message I hope I can send it out and that you can see it, because if not, this would be kind of a waste of my, let's see, we're going on past 24 minutes now. Not a waste of my time, but I just hope you guys can hear the truth from Yeshua. So, I'll talk to you guys later. These things are ramping up like they are. I will be doing more videos, so that way you can, I guess, have knowledge of what's going on. So take care, and get prepared.